Welcome to the Southeast Bank Financial Aid Workshop Series, your gateway to educational success. At Southeast Bank, we're more than just a bank. We're your partners in financial well-being. We serve Middle and East Tennessee with a full suite of loan and deposit products and services. Southeast Bank's dedication to community involvement and local decision-making are the cornerstone of our success. Additionally, our Education Loan Finance Division provides private student loans to students and parents, as well as offers low-cost student loan refinancing options to borrowers nationwide. Guiding us through our series is Ron Gamble, Executive Vice President for Education Loan Finance, a division of Southeast Bank. With over a decade of experience as a financial aid administrator and nearly 2 decades serving as the Executive Director for the Tennessee Student Assistance Corporation, Ron is a seasoned expert ready to demystify the complexities of financial aid. In this series, we will unravel the mysteries of financial aid, explore the world of student loans, and provide you with insights and information to make informed decisions about your educational journey. Module 2, Student Aid Index, and completing the FAFSA.
The new term that is out there now is called the Student Aid Index, or SAI. The Student Aid Index represents a family's financial strength to pay for college. The Student Aid Index replaced the expected family contribution, or EFC, that we have seen in recent years. This is starting with the 24-25 free application for federal student aid. The Student Aid Index is used to calculate Pell eligibility. That could be the maximum Pell amount, the minimum Pell amount, or an amount somewhere in between that follows a formula utilized by the institution. Any individual required to provide a signature and consent on the FAFSA form, including the student's spouse if they are married, biological or adoptive parents, or the parent's spouse or a step-parent, would be required information that goes into the calculation of the Student Aid Index. The FAFSA instructions will identify those whose financial information will be used in the calculation of the Student Aid Index. A new term is the contributor. Who is going to be a contributor? What you need to know about that is a student or parent's answers on the FAFSA form will determine which contributors will be required to provide information. A student or parent will invite contributors to complete their portion of the free application for federal student aid by entering the contributor's name, date of birth, social security number, and email address. In most cases, it's recommended that parents of dependent students start the process because they are going to be more likely to have the basic information that is used to invite contributors to participate in filling out the form. Contributors must provide personal and financial information in their own sections of the FAFSA form, but they are not financially responsible for the student's educational cost. Contributors, what do you need to know about the FAFSA process? The contributor will receive an email informing them that they have been identified as a contributor for the student. The contributor creates that studentaid.gov account, the FSA ID, if they don't already have one. The contributor logs into their account using that FSA ID with their username and password. The contributor will then review the information about completing their section of the FAFSA form. The contributor then must complete their financial information and provide consent for their information to be used. Contributors must provide consent to allow the U.S. Department of Education to share their federal tax information with post-secondary institutions and state higher education agencies for use in awarding and administering financial aid. These will be determined by the student when they select which institutions they are considering. What you do need to know is if a student or required contributor does not provide their consent to have their federal tax information transferred to the FAFSA form, the student will not be eligible for federal student aid, even if they manually enter the information into the FAFSA form. Information about how federal tax information will be used and the consequences of not providing consent will be included on the FAFSA form, but there will not be a student aid index calculated without this consent. So what are some of the questions that will be included on this FAFSA? Earned income tax from work. So the earned income from work applies to U.S. tax filers. If you are not required to file an income tax, if any of the contributors are not, then it is possible that you would receive an automatic negative 1,500 student aid index. This would make you eligible for the maximum Pell Grant for that institution. Independent students will need to complete this information, and it could be on themselves and their spouse, depending on their status. Parents of dependent students will need to provide their income earned from work and the dependent student's income earned from work, and that will vary depending on whether both parents work or only one parent works. If you do not have income earned from work, you may be receiving untaxed income and benefits, and these will be indicated on the FAFSA in the appropriate place. For those working, there are income offsets that are provided through the formula to help mitigate some of the cost that you face when you work. One thing that is new on the free application of federal student aid for the 24-25 year is the reporting of family size. The family size will be taken directly from the income tax return data. If that is not correct or does not represent the current family situation, there will be a chance to correct that later on. There will be a request for the number in college, but it is no longer a part of the formula that as it has been in the past. There are places to report assets also. Assets include cash, savings, checking accounts that you may have. Assets now include the annual amount of child support received, if applicable, by the contributor. The net worth of a business is now being used. Net worth of a farm, including the value of a family farm, minus debts held against those assets, and excluding the home where the family actually lives on the farm. But that net worth is now included, which is different from the past.
Thank you for watching the Southeast Bank Financial Aid Workshop Series. We hope the insights and information provided empower you to make informed decisions on your educational journey.